Hey everyone, it's John here from Hot Hockey, back with another video, and this video is going to be the series preview between the Florida Panthers and the New York Islanders. So the 7 seed versus the 10 seed, play-in round series, best out of 5 matchup. Will the New York Islanders win this series, or will the Florida Panthers win this series? Welcome to the channel. If you're a new subscriber, please smash that like button and leave your thoughts in the comment section below. And now let's go to my interview with Kim, also known as the Isles Girl, and let's preview the series. All right, so now I'm with Kim, also known as Isles Girl. We are going to go over some just X factors in the Islanders and Panthers series. She's obviously a diehard Islanders fan, so I wanted to bring her on. So thank you for coming on, Kim. And what are your 3 biggest X factors for how the Islanders can win this series?
All right, so Islanders in this series, it's going to be bringing back a lot of 2016 memories. Obviously, I think the Panthers are going to be coming out for blood, obviously, because we beat them in that six-game series back in 2016. The 23-year wait for the Islanders was over, and it was one of the best moments of my freaking life. But obviously, for the Panthers fans, they want redemption. So it's going to be definitely, I think, a cutthroat series between the two teams. First, to start off, like with the X factors, like you were saying, don't trip Trek. No, I'm kidding. But that's been haunting me since 2016, man. They won't let it go.
Hey, well, Trocheck's not there anymore, so you're good on that.
Exactly. No, I'm just screwing around. But first thing is getting pucks in the net. I think every Islanders fan has been just really upset that we just haven't had that production by our forwards, and one of the biggest reasons we acquired Pajot, and especially to gain that depth in the center, because our forwards haven't been producing. We'd like to see a guy like Matthew Barzal kind of step it up and take more shots rather than make more plays. It's hard because he's always been a playmaker kind of mentality guy. He makes those passes, those beautiful passes for his line mates to rip shots. But I feel like he has so many times where he has an open net and he can just rip a beauty, and he would have so many goals more on his record. Just to boost the confidence, maybe our offense needs to be able to produce goals and be able to win games that way. Because there's too many times we've just been down a few goals and we've just not been able to just produce at least one. So first thing to really crack down on would be offense and getting those pucks into the net, finding those open lanes. That would be my first thing to focus on, especially for this series coming up. Having those players who were hurt come back onto the team. So we're going to have players like Adam Pelech back. Johnny Boychuk's going to be coming back. When Adam Pelech left, we lost so much of that defensive depth. He brought so much that we didn't realize at first. And Johnny Boychuk, if you watch him on the ice, you will see that he directs each and every player on that rink. He makes the play happen to drive forwards, and he can easily read plays. He's a big veteran on the team, and he's a leader on this team. So having someone like Johnny Boychuk back on that ice to solidify that defense is going to be great. And so the second X mark would be like to play the Barry Trotz system, getting back to that Barry Trotz system, because we've seen how it worked last year. Having those 2 big defenders back and playing that defensive game while trying to give a little bit of that offensive push. And statement number 1, combining those 2 together is just going to make us that much more better. Get Bobrovsky out of that net. Make them pull Bobrovsky. We got to get those goals in the net.
So if you're looking at Bobrovsky versus, do you see Greiss or Varlamov, like one of them taking the full reins? Like, how do you see that matchup going down?
Yeah, that was like the third thing, was that we were very much going back and forth between goalies because no one's, I feel, taken that role or position as the main goaltender. Varley has had amazing moments, and so has Greiss. Greiss's greatest moment on this team is that poke check against Sidney Crosby. I mean, Holy crap. Like, that was amazing. But this season, I just haven't felt that chemistry between the goaltenders like I have with Leonard. And it's a little upsetting to see, but the reason we have Varley coming in is because of Sorokin, obviously. So once that opens up where we can, like, do some contracts, I've heard that we're going to get Sorokin over, but not in time for this playoffs. So if anyone I would put in the net first, it'd be Greiss. I think I would definitely put Greiss in. He's been solid for this team. I know he's hungry for it. I know he wants it. And he loves the New York Islanders. It's just sad that, this is going to be basically his last time with the New York Islanders.
Yeah.
His contract's coming up now, but I feel like we're going to put Greiss in for that matchup because I feel like and this is like kind of like the end of the road. He's going to have more of a fire in his gut, and I feel like he's just going to want it that much more. So to put someone up against Bobrovsky, I would definitely put Greiss.
It's going to be interesting for the Panthers too, because they have a situation where Bobrovsky struggled a lot. They have the guy Drieger, he was doing pretty well. So I feel like both teams have that question mark, like who to start in net. I feel like for the Panthers, they'll probably give Bobrovsky that opportunity, but
I think
the
they
Islanders, they have Varlamov under contract, and I mean, maybe that's disrespect to Varlamov, but Greiss has obviously brought a lot of consistency, and Greiss was a guy that when Leonard was getting lit up, again, I wouldn't blame Leonard for it at all. I think you agree with me too, but Greiss stepped in and kind of took a lot of the heat as well. So I don't know. I think I agree with you. I think they could see maybe Greiss start game one and see what happens from there.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I think what's going to happen, honestly, is that they're going to start Greisser out there. I remember last season Barry Trotz saying, I've got two great goaltenders. It doesn't matter which one I start. And so I think it's possibly the same situation. They're both great goaltenders. Let's start one. Let's see what happens.
The 2016 rematch. How do you see this going down in best out of 5? Who do you think is going to win this series?
It's definitely much more cutthroat now that it's out of 5. To be honest, I feel like we can best the Florida Panthers. I'm not being biased in that sense. I will tell you straight up when I feel like the Islanders will lose because I know my team.
Yeah.
And so, if we were facing, someone let's say we were facing the Carolina Hurricanes right now, like the New York Rangers are, I'd be like, I think we're going to lose. Versing the Florida Panthers, we have a good track record against them. I just feel like we don't overestimate ourselves against them. I feel like we also don't drag ourselves down against them as well. I feel like they're like a neutral team that we can play effectively against. And so I feel like this will be cutthroat. I feel like this may go to a 4 or 5 game series.
So you're going to say Islanders in 5 games?
Yeah, Islanders in 5.
Islanders in 5?
Yeah, because the Florida Panthers are going to give a hell of a fight. And I know they're a good team when they work cohesively. And, the same thing with the Islanders. When we fall apart, we fall apart. And when the Florida Panthers fall apart, they fall apart. So it's going to be who can work cohesively, who can get that chemistry back together and bring it to go into that first round of playoffs. 2
of the best coaches in the league, Joel Quenneville versus Barry Trotz. So
definitely.
That's interesting as well.
Yeah, this is going to be definitely an interesting round. 2 very respected and well-known coaches. They both have Stanley Cups on them. They know what they're doing. So this is going to be basically also a battle of wits between the benches.
This one's interesting because I feel like Viveiros could be on that second line. I think they finished the season with Andrew Ladd. I feel like Andrew Ladd, if he's in the lineup, maybe he's just in the lineup. I have a hot take. I feel like Ho-Sang could be in there. Maybe he doesn't start the playoffs there. I mean, maybe Brassard plays on the wing. I feel like I could see that. Brassard, Pajot, and Komarov over there. And then you got a 4th line of Clutterbuck, Zizekas, Martin. I think you run with that 4th line to start. And then have Ho-Sang as an extra forward. But I could see Ho-Sang jumping in somewhere. But I feel like that is your lineup somewhere. Brassard maybe there. Ross Johnston, an extra guy. Dal Cole extra. Wallstrom. Wallstrom's an interesting one. Does he get an opportunity maybe? I don't know. Does Bellows get an opportunity maybe? There's so many options for the Islanders. Because I could feel like if they start stale, I would throw in Bellows. I would throw in Ho-Sang. I would throw in Walt. You have opportunities to throw these guys in and make an impact. So I could see 1 or 2 or all 3 of Wallstrom, Ho-Sang, and Bellows getting opportunities in these playoffs. So that's really interesting. For defense, Leddy and Boychuk, I feel like you're going to get an opportunity where Boychuk comes back healthy. Ryan Pulock could be there. So I feel like that is something to do with your defense. Again, maybe Leddy drops down. You got Devon Taves with Pulock. Then you got somewhat of a shutdown pair with Pelech and Boychuk. Again, Leddy's probably not going to be down there. But my point is that if you want to run a shutdown pair, it's probably going to be Pelech and Boychuk. Pulock might get an opportunity again if Leddy's up there. And then you got maybe Taves with Dobson or Pelech with Dobson, Taves with Boychuk. That will probably be your top 6 combination. Andy Green could be in there as well. Scott Mayfield's right there. You've got depth in that defense. So I think that defense group's really solid. Varlamov and Greiss could start. So Panthers lineup. Okay, this is very interesting. It's going to be interesting to see if the Panthers go top heavy. That top 6, how I constructed it, is how they finished the season, I believe. Again, if I'm going top heavy, this is what you're doing, and you can be really scary with it. And then you have, I think you could even boost Wallmark up there, but I think Holla might have obviously that more experience, but I could see maybe Wallmark getting the boost. It's going to be something like that. Again, I feel like Holla could be there, Dadanoff, Vetrano was with Barkov for a bit. And then defense, again, Uyghur was playing really well for the Panthers. I think the top 4, it could be something like that. Hessick was playing forward. Same with Matheson. Like, the Panthers are so weird, bro. They had like 3 defensemen at some points in the season playing forward. But I feel like Joshua Brown could be there. Guys they could call up. Danik Martel, we know he's played some NHL games. I think it's Henrik Borgstrom for sure. Mason Marchment, most likely. Hepo Niemi might get opportunities, and Owen Tippett as well. Obviously, you hope that Bobrovsky comes back fresh and he actually plays well. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Isles Girl, for coming on. I will link her channel in the description, so go subscribe to her and go follow her, ISLESGIRL3 on Twitter, right?
Yep.
Yep. All right, and go hit her up there. Anything else you want to say or plug to include at the end?
Let's go Islanders!